My name is Derek Long. I read Leadership Discourse at Work, Interactions of Humor, Gender, and Workplace Culture.
My name is Eric Alnes. I read JFK on Leadership by Barnes.
My name is Nutt. I read The Powers to Lead by Joseph S. Nye.
My name is Horine. I read Start With Why by Simon Sinek. Great leaders lead through inspiration, not through authority. Or in order to be a successful leader for a long period of time, the leader needs to have the ability to inspire people. Only when people believe what you believe, a true relationship can begin. You should want to lead people who have the same beliefs as you. You will get the most done that way. And they will want to follow you. This is because the need to belong makes you feel connected and safe.
The way you present yourself to other people is simply stated your leadership style, and it may attract a certain group to follow you. Leadership style is based on a couple of key factors. In my book, JFK on Leadership, charisma is a certain magnetism and charm that draws others to you. And JFK utilized this throughout his career. It's a bit of a confidence trick, for real. Kennedy wasn't born with charisma. He learned how to be charismatic. He spent a lot of his childhood surrounded by Hollywood stars that his family knew, or family friends, and he always aspired to be like them. He asked, "Can I learn this?" And he absolutely did. To JFK, image was reality. He publicized himself through newspapers and talking to reporters. He came across as a positive, optimistic, confident person. He always called people Mr. and Mrs. and dressed the part, frequently making changes to his suits and ties to meet new people. And JFK maintained composure by keeping his own time. He slept in throughout his presidency. He made time for family at the end of the day. His leadership style was very relaxed, and this helped him obtain his goals. So the key points in leadership style is to publicize yourself, be optimistic, remember that appearances count, and be candid.
Even though JFK relied on an inspirational style, you need to consider whether a transactional leadership style or an inspirational leadership style is right for you. And to do that, you need to consider the context in which you're in. An inspirational leadership style really works best when you want people to think beyond their needs, and it works best in times of uncertainty or change, or when everyone needs to come together to form a greater whole. So if your company is going through an acquisition, or in JFK's example, you want to lead the country through the Cold War, that's when you want to have people stop thinking about themselves and start to think about the greater good of the organization. But more commonly, when you think of the day-to-day business of living and running a business, you probably want a transactional style. Simply, you do this and you get something in return. You do good work, you get your pay, you meet a production quota, you get a raise. And that transactional leadership style works best in situations where you have a very stable environment, everyone knows what they want to do, and everyone's knowledgeable of what they have to do. So, knowing which leadership style is best for you is key to success as a leader.
The writings of this book offered several interesting observations on how important humor is used in the achievement of a number of organizational goals. One particularly interesting takeaway from the book was the notion of how a leader can use humor to accomplish an organization's transactional and relational objectives. And it can be done simultaneously if used properly. It's more so a tool that leaders can use to inspire, and a subtle way of bringing up areas in the group that people can build on. This book studies 3 fairly lucrative IT firms in New Zealand, and it comes complete with documented conversations that exemplify the organization's leaders manipulating humor to do anything from building group solidarity to establishing status differences. Another interesting point was how the book pointed out some challenges associated with humor. It has to be carefully crafted to fit certain contextual environments, which would of course be challenging, but it also brings an opportunity for leaders to bring a way of helping people decide how to go towards their actual objective, and is a great way for leaders to help them find their way.
Using humor in a constructive way in the workplace plays into another point that Joseph and I made when he was talking about different types of power relationships. Joseph S. and I divided power relationships into hard and soft power. Soft power relies more on persuasive ability, and people will follow you because they like you or they respect your position. A person, say the head of a nonprofit who has a very limited budget, people follow that head of the nonprofit because they respect what that nonprofit is doing, not necessarily because the person has the ability to compel force. And that is actually the opposite of soft power, and that is what Joseph S. and I refers to as hard power. Hard power is the ability to compel. It is a carrot and stick type approach to leadership. They can reward good behavior, or they can reward good behavior, or they can punish bad behavior, but it's very much based on power, what you have the ability to do to compel people to act. And a very important distinction to make is when you should rely on soft power, when you should rely on hard power. And it's not always a clear-cut distinction, and please remember that neither approach is better than another. Joseph and I recommends that in general it is best to use soft power to try to get people to do what they like because they find you funny, they like you, they find you persuasive, but always have hard power, the ability to compel if soft power fails. So don't be afraid to pull rank, but don't do it all the time.
JFK utilized soft power by promoting a like to himself. In the election, Nixon was expected to win based on political points, but JFK had such a liking throughout the community that he actually won the election. He had a strong belief in all of his messages and was always smiling and had a positive, optimistic outlook with everything he said. In his speech, Ask Not, his famous quote, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country," instilled the power within Americans that drove the country to success. He adapted to his audience, and that's essential of a good leader. JFK spoke also on the happiest terms with his audience. He focused on the positives and instilling a "we can" notion throughout the community. He spoke to people, not at, not over, not around people. He communicated with people. He didn't just write speeches and tell them to people. JFK engaged in a conversation with the audience. The more you talk to people, the more they will understand your goals and what you were trying to do. And people that were interviewing him, he'd ask them about their jobs and how their lives are going, their family issues. He put the focus on them, not himself. So some key points from communication and JFK is know your audience, stay focused on your audience, respond to your audience, get help when you need it, work with the media, and be authentic.
The way you achieve authenticity is to be consistent in your message. You need to be consistent in what you say or do, otherwise people will not be able to see what you believe in. You have no idea what you believe in, and there's no reason for them to follow you. In being consistent, a leader needs to believe in what they are saying or doing. Apple Incorporated believed that they were the best at providing electronics to the consumer. They proved that by consistently giving us a better and better product. If you do not believe in what you want to do, then your employees or the consumer will see right through it and will not follow you.
And here I go again on my own.